First up, we have Snake and the Fixer-Upper, played by.
Ryanaga. And Snake is a Yuan-Ti sorcerer who is draconic in origin. Fixer-Upper is a half-orc war priest.
Wonderful. Next up, we have Tristan, played by.
Will, and Tristan is a divination wizard.
Okay. And then we have Melrath, played by.
Stormy827, and Melrath is a Dwarven Eldritch Knight.
And last but not least, we have Bob, played by.
Barska, and Bob is a tiefling warlock.
Marvelous. Okay, so last time when we were playing, the party had finished up some uh, events that had to transpire in not Graven Hollow. We haven't gotten there yet. Mantal Dareth, um, including the subjugation of the Deep Dwarf Enclave and the return of the Deep Gnome Ambassador. And it sounds like Mantle Dareth will be split three ways instead of two. Um, Additionally, the party had set out. They'd made their way into the Underdark, and they had discovered the aftermath of a battle and put to rest, hopefully, several issues around discipline within their unit. Um, so at this point, um, the party has rested overnight, and I know I did the long rest last time, but just in case, everybody check, make sure all your spell slots are, the way they're supposed to be in case it didn't save properly.
Are you implying that Graven Hollow will be a difficult encounter?
Implying we're not
Nah.
even at Graven Hollow.
Well, you're on your way. Pack up your packs. But if you stay, you won't come back. How can you go? You haven't got the time. But you're
Stop.
going.
Please stop.
Do you
I
even
don't
know what
want
I'm
any part
quoting?
of it.
Do you know what I'm
No, I
quoting?
don't want any part of it.
Okay, wonderful. I'll send you the link later.
Okay.
Um, I covered that. Oh, right. So, you guys had ended up fortifying your location to go to bed, was the last thing I remember. So, over the course of the night, um, one of the Lord's Alliance spies comes back to camp. He was on guard in the direction that you came from. Um, and he rushes over, he wakes up um, uh, Melrath and Tristan and some of the others, and he says, "Sires, alert! Two black pudding and carrion crawlers are coming this way." Nobody seems alarmed.
Well, of course we're not alarmed, but we're
Did
just
you
like,
say
oh
black
well.
pudding?
Yes, black pudding. Those oozes that you faced earlier.
Gross. Yeah, I'm not alarmed.
Yeah, definitely not alarmed, but I guess we have to deal with them, or else we're gonna lose people.
Well, they're going to start assaulting the barricades in a few moments, so yeah. I mean, you could always let them batter at the barricade, get everybody up, and try to go out the other way.
Nah, we can take them out.
Okay.
This
Cool.
would be a good stretch.
So let me bring up the combats. Oh, peoples can go. Delete
Do
item.
we have a map?
I'm working on that. Let me grab my monsters first.
You grab onto whatever you want.
And tug. Black.
Whoa.
Black. There it is. And one, two, and then okay, so now that I covered that, nope, I won't use that one. I won't use that one. I'll use this one because this is the one we always use. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Uh, and let's see here. Uh, 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 Wait, no, not him. Delete token. There we go. There, there, you, and you. And then okay. All right. So now that I have that taken care of, clicky clicky. I didn't quite understand what you meant by you can replace a current second level spell.
Cool. Thank you.
And if you guys can make sure that you're snapped to the grid, that would be helpful.
Are they really that big?
Yes, they are really that big. At this particular point, the other members of your war party, the significant other members of your war party, they are hanging back because these monsters are a little bit more dangerous. They can get involved if you want, but you might lose some members, and they're not generally as strong as you are.
I think we'll be fine.
Wonderful. Everybody roll initiative.
Does anyone else disagree with that?
Well, can we call them if it starts to turn against us? Like, what does that encompass? Just a bonus action or something?
It's actually a free action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Talking is a free action.
Or in our case, screaming at them, "Come help, you assholes!
Get off your asses and do what we pay you for.
You're not paying us." Well, not with that attitude, we're not.
I'll double it. Okay. Looks like we're all set. Cool. That means Tristan is up first.
Okay. Then I shall start by 1 second.
Oh, also, just narratively to help set this up a little bit more. Once you knew that these creatures were coming, the folks that had manned the makeshift barricade stepped away from it. The black pudding just oozed right through it. It's not exactly a solid wall. It was more like, planks put up over the entrance. And as they did, they simply dissolved everything that was holding the whole thing together, and it just fell apart. So once they did, the carrion crawlers were able to sort of like, worm their way over. And yeah,
Do we know? We fought black pudding before. Do we know what they're resistant against, or should I make a roll?
no, you do know what their resistance again. I won't require you to remember anything that you've already encountered. They're immune to acid, cold, lightning, and slashing.
Okay, and we have not fought in carrion crawlers, I don't think.
No,
Correct.
but somebody else has at least identified what they are, so that doesn't give you any information about the spell, or sorry, the stat block, but what it can do, here, is get you a picture. Congrats.
With
Thanks.
and I'm assuming this would be nature since they look buggish.
Uh, sure.
Looks kind of hairy.
Not
It's
well. I'm trying to figure out the roll nature or arcana for information.
Yeah, I know. I'm also assessing. I'm gonna go with nature. I'm trying to see one other thing, but I am not seeing it immediately. Oh, that'll
There you
do.
go.
Nice.
Okay. I'm skimming over some information. Bear with me. Okay. Um, these are large monstrosities. They have a climb speed. They can, kind of just, use the walls. They have keen smell. They have spider climb, allowing them to just climb on walls or ceilings without needing to make any ability check nor losing any speed doing so. Um, Carrion crawlers are most known for poisoning their victims. And while poisoned, those victims are also paralyzed. So they will try to get in there and use their tentacles to paralyze you and then consume you alive.
Cool. That completely changes my battle plan now.
They have no particular resistances or immunities or anything like that, not even to status effects.
All right, I'm going to 5, 10. I'm going to move forward,
Okay.
and then I'm going to cast a touch spell on Melrath. Enjoy haste, because you'll need that
Yay.
extra 2 Because if any of the rest of us are poisoned, we're fucked.
Well, not Snake, but everyone else, yeah.
Then I'm going to retreat,
Chicken.
and that's my turn.
Okay. Next up is Snake.
Snake is fortunately immune to poisoning. So I'm going to get in fireball range here.
I'd ask if that's all you know how to do, but it really works super well, and I love it, so I'm not going to ask.
Well, I appreciate that. But yes, it is all I can do.
Here, we'll create a pointer just so that we can make sure that everybody's gotten within. Oh, look at that! I put them exactly within 20 feet of each other. Isn't that just lovely? I mean, obviously we'll go like this so that it doesn't get Eric, but whatever.
Huh. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, cool. You're set.
Well, even if he did have to hit Eric, he now has advantage on dexterity saving throws.
That's true. So you're saying I should have.
Eric doesn't really need all those hit points.
No.
That's why I have them all.
You know, you're starting to give that
Oh,
shield
I
guardian
cast it
a
on
run for
myself
its
for
money.
some reason.
Ah! Well, don't do
Did
that.
you just nuke the party?
No, I just cast it on myself, but I saved.
Wow, he
Thank
can't even
God.
kill himself.
I've
Oh.
used too many of these. I deserve to die.
Hang tight for just a second. I'm going to target everybody for you. That'll make it a
Thank
little easier. And then...
Not everybody, just the enemies.
And Eric.
Oh, let me just
And
clear
Eric.
that. Okay, you're good to go. Damn it. Kyle's paying too close of attention for his own good. Wow.
Failure.
Multi-kill.
Okay, so that's +2.
Nice.
Pretty crappy rolls.
You know, it is what it is. I would also observe that the... Oop, make him... Yeah, he's still evil. Both of the carrion crawlers are now bloodied.
Cool.
Next up, not him. Carrion crawler number 2. Let me see here.
Oh, did you add 2 to everyone?
15, 20. What?
2 damage because I rolled 2 ones.
I did not. I will do that now.
Thanks.
2 damage. Okay.
And they're all dead.
Nope, nobody died. 5, 10, 15. Oh, I see that was by design. 30. Oh! Ha ha! Eric and Fixer Upper get attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
Ouch. Well done.
Kyle?
And
Huh? That was not
You
me,
get an
was it?
attack of opportunity, yeah.
No, Kyle. Not Kyle.
I'm in the back.
Fixer Upper.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just waiting on him before I proceed.
Are those only melee
Oh.
attacks?
Yes. Although there are feats you can take in the game that allow you to cast spells when you would make an opportunity attack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyways, Kyle, guess what?
Bring it on.
Uh-oh.
And then
Hmm.
wow.
Ha.
Well, then take this, and then let's see how this works. Was it worth it? It was worth it. Bloop and bloop. You're now paralyzed and poisoned. The tentacle,
Oh.
or sorry, the carrion crawler rushes forth for the squishy in the back, and once in range, it lashes out a little further than you would have thought possible with its tentacles, and one of them grazes you. That simple graze causes you to collapse. And actually, I should probably make you prone, but I don't know how to do that. It's fine. You're paralyzed.
So
Next
I
turn.
guess I can't do a hellish rebuke, right?
Correct.
If I'm
Actually, I'm gonna
paralyzed.
double check on that. Conditions. Paralyzed. Oh, I have to go to incapacitated now. Incapacitated. Can't take actions or reactions.
Okay.
All right,
I'll just sit here in the back.
Melrath, it's your turn.
All right. I have like double speed, so I'm going to do a lot this turn. So with my first attack, I'm going to hit the guy right behind me.
Yep.
All right. Then I'm going to run over to this guy and see if I can kill him with my, other two attacks.
Okay.
Holy
Oh!
shit!
Damn. Oof.
All right, and then I'll use my final attack to hit him again. And ooh!
I
What
hit
the
on a 2.
fuck? You can't miss.
All right, and then use the last of my movement points to move here and then here, and then I'm done.
Was that including your haste attack?
Yep.
Okay, good. Totally worth
So
it.
Seems pretty fair, guys.
no one is aware Melrath had moved until the carrion crawler near Kyle and Tristan is split in half with radiant light. And it slumps to the ground screaming in agony. And by the time it has, he's already made 2 crisscrosses into the other carrion crawler, causing its guts to spill out all over the battlefield.
Ugh,
In his
gross.
gore, he stands before the other 2 black puddings and shakes some of it off of his arm. Badass. Fixer upper.
Now I'm
What
just
will
imagining
you do?
Melrath doing like a body wiggle to intimidate the black puddings.
So, Greater Restoration doesn't work on poison? That seems odd. I'm looking at the spell.
Oh, because Lesser Restoration covers it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I guess a potion of healing doesn't cure poison, does it?
So I have to waste a Greater Restoration on something that a lesser Restoration would do.
No, you don't. He gets to save at the end of every one of his turns.
Oh, okay. And he's saving. What is your save?
Well, he has to beat a 13 on Constitution.
And he has a
What's-
+3 by the look of it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which is a decent thing. It means he has what, at least a 50-50 chance of
Yeah.
beating it.
55% chance.
Yeah.
I
And
can take it.
him failing does what? It.
It just persists.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah,
The
that would be
others,
a waste. All
How
right.
much damage does it do?
the poison.
Yeah.
In this edition, poison damage doesn't actually hurt you. It just makes it difficult for you to do attacks. Like you have disadvantage on attack rolls. There's no
Oh,
persistent damage. Like
gotcha.
if an effect is going to have persistent damage, that's separate from poisoned, which
But
is
I'm also
weird.
paralyzed, right?
You're paralyzed because you're poisoned. The 2 effects are linked
Oh,
because
I
of the way
gotcha.
the carrion crawler works. But anyways,
Gotcha.
fixer upper.
Mhm.
I'll just chill here in the back, guys. Don't worry.
You
You
won't
have the
notice.
worst
Trust us.
itch on your nose.
So they're resistant against slashing, correct?
They're immune.
Oh. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because I had the short sword equipped, so I guess my action will be on the way to switch to the Warhammer.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing besides casting my lovely um, thing I always do, the weapon, spiritual weapon,
Ah,
because
fetch you
it's bonus.
tokens. I think it's under. There it is. Boink. You can move it around now.
Cool. So yeah, it'll hit or attempt to hit number 2, I guess. Okay. And another one. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Fortunately, your weapons are still coded from before, so the weapon takes no additional damage. However, let me see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Whoops.
Where is it? Here it is.
Those
Once you
nasty
hit it
black puddings.
with the hammer, acid splashes up onto you. Uh, you take a little damage. Bob. I think if I just go to the next person, it automatically rolls for you. It does not. Um, Bob, would you roll a Constitution saving throw? You can find it right on your character sheet.
Is that save or
You got it exactly,
regular?
but
Okay.
you didn't pass, so you persisted.
Fuck you.
Paralysis. Uh, then it's this thing's turn. He's gonna go like so. He misses with a 21. Woof.
Yeah, you have to
That's
beat
fair.
4.
Rough times for black puddings. Um, Shield Guardian is up. Oh, Will, what did you store in him?
Um, Dimension Door.
There. Ow! Damn it. It's his turn though.
There we go. He moves there,
Okay.
and then oh shit. Well, we're about to learn whether Shield Guardian can resist Black Pudding. So he's attacking.
Okay. He hits and hits again.
Ouch.
He does significant damage to the um, black pudding. Why did he get a third attack?
He didn't.
What? What did I do? Oh, I think I know what happened. Sorry about that. Cool. Once he slams his fist down on the black pudding, he pulls back, and they are now pitted and sizzling from the acid. They have a -2 on future attacks.
Good to know.
If it drops to a -5, his fists will be destroyed.
-5.
Permanently?
Yes. Well, I mean, unless you
Wow.
can get him repaired,
So he's gonna run around without fists?
he would have no attacks at that point.
That's
So his
terrible.
regeneration doesn't fix that stuff?
I'm actually looking into.
He's gonna have giant stumps on his arms.
After dealing damage, the weapon takes permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls. So you'll have to get him repaired
Permanent.
at a settlement.
Yikes.
Or I will just have to. Let's see if I have that spell. But
Can
we
you
can worry
dismiss
about that
him
later.
and resummon?
Oh, he's a physical object.
Oh. Interesting.
I'm done.
Okay. Next up is black pudding number 1. The creature lashes out a pseudopod, but the shield guardian is simply too tough for it. and he manages to deflect it away, which brings us back to Tristan.
Okay, now I get to do my fun stuff with spell slots. I'm going to cast a 4th level Mind Spike, which gets me back a 3rd level slot. And
Neat.
then, where's Mind Spike?
Save 0.
Whoa.
It seems they are not wise.
Um, okay, so I actually have a question for you, Alex. The damage increases by 1d6 per slot above second when its base damage dice is 3d8. How do I add that?
You'll have to roll the d6 separately.
I think we counted it as a D8 for mine. Because Alex, didn't you say it was just a mistake?
Oh, we might well have looked that up. I actually don't have a PHB in the room with me. Here, hang tight for just a second. I can find this on the internet
Yeah,
pretty
because I didn't
fast.
mix mine.
Um, let me try Mind Spike. There it is, 5e. Okay, so this is from. Yeah, that is a mistake in the program. It should be additional d8s.
And I'm done.
Very low spell cost. Huh. Okay, sorry. Wow, that was very significant. Your Mind Spike tears the creature apart. It forms spasms in all different directions while it's under Psychic Assault. And Snake, you're up. I still have you pre-targeted for both the puddings, just in case you should, decide to fireball something.
No, I'm not going to waste another spell slot, but thanks.
Cool.
So I will try to hit Black Pudding 1 with a Firebolt.
Okay. Okay, so you've hit Black Pudding 1. And you managed to kill
Yay.
it. Your firebolt streaks across the battlefield and impacts the creature, causing it to sizzle, pop, and then go limp.
I'm done.
Dazarath. Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
he's not
not
here.
here.
Melrath.
I like your well,
that
we'll
was
call him Chris impression. Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah. I'm not here.
Ooh, 3 hits.
Okay,
Ah,
he's
ah,
gone,
ah.
I mean,
probably.
so long as you don't roll a 1, you hit.
And he's still alive.
He's
Wow.
still alive. He's a
Jeez.
tanky mofo. Fixer Upper, what will you do?
Thanks for letting me get the kill shot in. I appreciate that.
Never happened in law.
So I will, now that I switch weapons, I will attack with the Warhammer. Yay.
The Warhammer comes down upon the creature. It splat. Wait a minute. Whoa, that's not right. Hold on a second. Oh, that reminds me. Eric? There you go.
Yay, damage.
Yeah. And then the Fixer Upper's final bit of damage. And you're all set. The final Black Pudding is defeated. Sizzle,
Yay.
sizzle, pop, sizzle.
Does
Deleted.
anyone have mending as a cantrip by any chance?
No.
I do. Wait.
Cleric?
No.
Do we have a cleric?
Yes,
Do
but
you have
the
mending?
cleric doesn't take mending. Um, Yeah, I have light and spare the dying as my utility cantrip. Sorry.
Drat. Pepiggy.
Cool.
Hmm.
So with that out of the way, um, your your Emerald Enclave scouts come from the direction the creatures did and affirm that there are no other carrion crawlers coming this direction. You guys are able to go over to Bob and sort of rest with him for a minute while his paralysis and poison wears off. And at this point, you guys are ready to set out once more. Um, you travel for another 2 days. Things have been mostly quiet. The scouts are doing a better job of alerting you to potential issues, and one person will alert you while someone else is going off to scout alternative routes. So you are having um, a much better time of it. However, during a during a reconnoiter for lunch, um, an argument ends up getting has broken out over a chain of command issue. One of the Zentarum is getting edgy about somebody else having given him orders, and two Umber Hulks burst from the walls. So,
Can out of combat, can I heal Melrath or
oh yeah, you guys can have done that before this started,
okay.
Because it's
because
been
it's
2 days, right?
Yeah.
actually for that matter, you don't need to
Okay,
because
good. That's what I was
you
hoping
would
to
have
hear.
slept one time
Thank you.
at least. Let's see here, long rest. Long rest. Long rest. And long rest. Okay, cool. Everybody's rested. So now you
Marking off from my daily mage armor.
one and two and there and there we go. Boom. Everyone roll for initiative. Okay, Fixer Upper, you're actually up first again.
Now, Umberhawks have some unique terrain ability, don't they?
Um, well,
I know they've been identified, but
they have. I'm not sure if had you guys faced them before. I'm
I
trying to
thought we
think.
did.
I don't
Um,
remember facing them, but I
All
could.
right, well, I'll try to identify them. I really thought we had.
I'm just trying to remember what the context was. I know that they're a really common creature down here, so I could have easily just thrown them at you at any point in time. But roll them bones. We'll see what happens.
Which should I roll?
This one is probably an Arcana check.
Oh, unfortunate.
Um, well, while you're trying to identify it, you get a little confused about which of these things actually quantifies as its eyes.
Hmm.
It's either very cute or very creepy.
Yeah.
I'm going with the latter, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll just run up to it.
Watch out, they spit.
That's not polite.
Oh, for the record, I went back to the +2 short sword because that is my best weapon normally. So, not knowing anything about what it resists, I'm just going to go with that.
Okay.
That's standard for me.
Right.
Okay, so I'll I'll double attack with that. And which one was that? Number
One.
1.
You hit.
Ugh. All right, and for the first time ever, I'm going to remember my War Priest ability to get more damage on a roll.
Ooh, okay.
So what it reads as is 1 attack per turn, I get an extra d6 of damage. So
Go for it.
I'll just roll it in the window, I guess.
Yeah.
There it is. And that's my turn.
Next up is Melrath.
Yeah, I'll go attack the other one. I think I can make it to
Oh, you
about.
should remove Melrath's haste.
Yeah,
Do you have to?
without haste, I can still make it. But yeah, I'll attack. What's this guy? Number 2.
You've done well despite your stubby legs, at least on the first one. These creatures are very well armored. It is
Apparently,
difficult to find a chink in the armor.
And that's my turn.
Hmm. Tristan, you're up.
Because I feel like it, I'm going to walk down this way. Then I'm going to cast haste on the Shield Guardian.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Bob, you're up.
Okay. First, I'm gonna roll this.
Oh,
Oh,
Is that any
shoot. I
better?
should have done it.
yes, significantly better. These are large monstrosities. They have burrowing of 20 feet.
Okay.
They can move 30 feet. They have dark vision, exceedingly large dark vision, like twice a normal humanoid's distance. They also have tremor sense, which means that if you turn invisible but are in contact with the ground, they will know exactly where you are. Um, Umber Hulks are most known for their confusing gaze, which has been the end of a great many adventurer. Um, they can magically force creatures to look into their eyes lovingly,
Hmm.
and then it will force you to make a saving throw. And in the event that you fail, I have to roll a die, and various effects can happen as a result. Um, they also have a multi attack, and they, like I already said, have very tough natural armor. They are kind of like giant insectoid apes. Um, yeah, they're very, very strong. There you go.
They're pretty gross.
They are
Mm-hmm.
super gross.
Are they immune to anything or
Nope,
resist?
nope, nope, nope.
Okay.
Um, they tend to make a living burrowing through walls, and they'll sort of like hang on or in a wall near a tunnel,
Mm.
and then burst out and try to attack whatever prey might happen to walk by.
Blow!
Holy shit!
I just sucked the life right out of them.
You, wow, he's bloodied. Yeah.
Slurping noises?
Oh, sorry. I don't.
To Alex.
I gotta get my mouth nice and moist for this.
Oh, good grief. That's even more gross than the Umber Hulk itself.
Probably.
So at the
Everyone turns to look at Bob with disgust on their face.
Bob gets this wicked grin, and he reaches out with his dark magics, and a magical straw is formed between him and his target, and then he slurps on that magical straw as hard as he can, and you can see the liquids and the life force drain out of the Umber Hulk, and he licks his lips.
But it's a paper straw because Bob cares about the environment.
There you go.
Shield Guardian is up. Please remember to apply -2 to all attacks.
Yep. Moving there.
Uh-huh.
Hitting the -2 button. And
Crit.
that's much nicer.
Wow.
Well,
Then for the rest of his movement, he's going to move over back towards Tristan. I will take the opportunity attack.
Okay. Snake, you're up.
Oh, I think the Umber Hulk gets a opportunity attack against the Shield Guardian because the Shield
Oh,
Guardian.
yes, it most certainly does. Now this is number 2. Okay. Number 2. Wow. He was so confused by the blazing speed that he didn't have a chance to return the attack. But Snake is up now.
hmm, I will get your sucky voices and noises out because
Oh,
that's what I'm going to do.
moisturizing.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are weird.
Join me for dinner, brother.
Let's try to suck Umber Hulk 2 dry.
Wow. Do you have any fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Alex, why did your viewer count just disappear?
It actually increased. There's definitely people that want to hear me make horrible sound effects.
That's
Wait, do
great.
people watch us every week?
Yeah,
One or two people sometimes.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Should I clean up my fucking language?
No, no.
Clever. All right. So which one am I hitting here? Oh, number 2. Yes, number 2.
Number 1 or number 2? Number 1 or number 2?
About the same?
Nope, they're all dead
Yes.
now. They're definitely not the same.
Well,
Love
really,
the spell.
when you have two people sucking you dry like that, there's not much you can do but become a desiccated corpse. The creature sort of slumps forward and just collapses to the ground with a clatter. Um,
I think we found its
yeah.
weakness.
Yeah, having the life force drained out of it. What a
Yeah,
surprise.
you think you've had its weakness. Massive amount of damage.
You know what?
Hmm. Ah. Let me. What do I
Alex
do
finally
here?
gets a turn to exact his revenge.
I know, right?
Yep.
Let
Just
me.
a turn.
Actually, this is a. Okay. So I go like this. Wait, how do I know how big it is? 25. There we go. Wait, I can't tell. No. Uh, yeah, probably can't. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. The creature magically compels everyone, including the shield guardian somehow. Wait a minute. No, he can be affected, including the shield guardian, uh, from viewing his attack. Okay, so we have two failures. So Fixer Upper and Shield Guardian are now incapacitated by the creature's horrific gaze. Um, However, that's an action. So then, since you're incapacitated, he's going to let me see here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Pointers remove. Hi, everybody. Fixer Upper. Oh, it's time. So now I get to roll. Let's see here.
This should be fun.
Let's see what happens. I got an 8. Oh. The fixer-upper sees phantom images all around him, and he whirls, swinging his mace, trying to swipe away at the images that are closing in on him. But there's no one there, and there's nothing to hit, so he just flails for a turn, and then that's the end of it. Melrath, you're up.
I'm gonna step
Uh,
the fuck away from my guardian.
Yeah.
I can grapple this thing, right?
It is a size category larger than you, which means that
And
you just have like a bad chance at success. It's kind of like if you're a beholder trying to charm a drow.
Okay, I'll just swing at it.
Yeah.
And that's my turn.
The creature's tough armor continues to deflect the radiant blade. Tristan, guess whose turn it is?
I'm going to strategically retreat away from my guardian, which makes me feel very sad because God Almighty, if I get hit by him. Next, revenge. Using a 4th level mind spike, which gets me back my 3rd level slot for haste. I need to look that up to see how many times I can do that in battle. If that's you
Wow.
son of a bitch. Still,
Too wise for you, Umber Hulk, MVP. Um, still, the creature, grasps at its head momentarily and then shakes off the effect as Bob acts.
He does what?
Bob, it's your turn.
Um, is he almost dead?
No.
He's not even bloodied.
Hmm. Should I suck some more?
I
I
mean,
mean, wait a minute. Just a quick
I have
question.
Dominate Beast.
Mr.
it's not a beast; it's a monstrosity.
Bob. 88. Okay, good. Everything's fine. For a split second, I wasn't sure if Blight had the appropriate dice on it, but I see you have been doing that, and I appreciate it. It is. Let me check something. It is a monstrosity, but I'm checking. Yeah, so it has to be a creature with the type of beast. So you could like dominate a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but you cannot dominate an Umber Hulk because it is a monstrosity.
All right, well, I guess I'm gonna get to sucking again.
You could spank it with tentacles.
But that's everyone in the area, isn't it?
Well, you just make sure the area is correct.
God damn!
Wow.
Aw.
Insane.
MVP Umber Hulk.
The other Umbra Hulk was a chump. This guy, however, is just like,
Yeah.
for my brother. I didn't particularly like him, but it's the principle.
The creature chitters in Umber Hulk. That was my wife, not my brother.
Of course it chitters. Ugh.
um, well, I mean, Bob, you managed to bring it down to half health, but you're kind of afraid now that it hasn't died because, it's right
Kind of
next to you.
exposed. Yeah.
Which allows me to roll a dice for
Shield Guardian.
yeah, Shield Guardian. I got a 4. What does a 4 do for us? Not that.
Go
That.
Fixer Upper and Shield Guardian fight. That would be cool.
Let's see here. The Shield Guardian looks around confused, but makes no action to swing out at anything in the vicinity. Um, Also, it does not have a range of 10 feet, so.
Whew, because that is 3 attacks that I did not want it to make at me. Or
S-
Fixer Upper. We need Fixer Upper.
Snake?
Um, does he get attack of opportunity against Misty Step?
He does
Um,
not. It is a
Okay.
teleport.
Also,
Thank
no creatures get attacks of opportunity against spells unless they have a Mage Slayer or some equivalent.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
There are,
So,
however, creatures. Oh, sorry.
can you give an example of a Mage Slayer?
Oh, Mage Slayer is specifically a feat.
Oh, okay. So they would have to have it.
Yeah, things. There are certain creatures in the D&D universe that do have that kind of ability, but
Mhm.
It's not like you've encountered any of them yet. So
Right. So it's pretty rare.
it is more rare than a creature having a resistance or vulnerability to acid.
So yes.
Yes. Acid has I believe, has the fewest resistances in the game, except for force,
All right.
which
So
kind of can't count.
I Misty stepped 25 feet away because I wanted blight on the table. Uh, although he's been saving against blight. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, what the heck?
Oh, do I need to moisturize for this?
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
Okay.
Delicious.
Waiting for you to cast. Look at that viewer count rise.
Excuse me, I gotta go be sick.
Wow, look at all those ones.
Kyle,
Damn!
damn it, be prepared. Have a trash can next to you for this.
So
Also, you did more
even when he
damage than
fails,
Kyle,
it's
I
like
think.
he saved. Awful.
That
Yeah, you
is.
did just as much damage as Kyle did.
I know, it's
Kyle's
terrible.
was halved.
All
We're
right.
gonna die to an Umber Hulk.
I mean, at least on the plus side, you guys have spread out a little bit more. I mean,
Yes, we did.
Umber Hulk's
Somewhat.
turn.
Uh-oh.
Hmm, 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 hmm. He barrels forward to Tristan. So both Bob and Melrath get an option for an attack of opportunity. Oh shit! I don't even. Bob, do you even have a melee weapon?
Oh, sorry. I have a crossbow.
Yeah, it's still a
No.
melee weapon.
No.
Are you gonna hit it
Actually,
with the
no. Wait,
crossbow?
wait. I have the rod of the Pact Keeper.
You realize that's the equivalent of a stick, right?
I still get it.
Okay, roll your d20 and you would do a d3 if you hit. That is
All right,
unfortunate.
leave me alone with my stick.
Okay, so hang tight for just 1 second. I want to see something.
Sounds like some divine intervention will be necessary.
Mm-mm. No, I was just making sure that he didn't get the feat for allowing him to use spells that in place of attack of opportunity.
Oh, I was just
However,
referring to Tristan's rolls, but no.
oh,
1 second. 1 second. Oh wait, actually, let's see here. 19 to 24. That wouldn't actually do it. So never mind.
well,
Wow.
you can deflect the second one though.
I mean, the second one missed already.
Oh, ha. Okay.
Wow.
Oh shit! Your haste has worn off. The
Yep.
creature's damage was too much for you. And then its bite
Wow.
comes down as well, bloodying you. So the first claw hits, the second claw misses, and then the bite comes around on you while you're still dodging the first attack. Fixer upper. What will you do this time? Actually, I'm so sorry. Let me check one more thing. I may have cheated here. Okay, so
DM cheated.
how long does this last?
The rest of the game.
Uh, what? No, it just actually doesn't say. Hold on a second. I have an MM right next to me. I'm gonna pull this thing up. Page 235, if I'm not mistaken. I am mistaken. Zorn, Wraith, Strahd. Here we are. Right. On a failed saving throw, can't take reactions. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I see. This thing actually uses the same setup as a Medusa, but I'm just gonna go with what I had. I was playing with it as if it was a third edition monster. So here's what I'm gonna say. Um, make a save now retroactively, and if you succeed, then you will, be able to take your turn normally.
Save against charisma?
Yeah, you're aiming for a 15. And actually, you know what? Don't do anything at all. I'll just drop it on you, and we'll see what it does. That's the fastest way. You succeed, so you can take your turn normally. And then I'm going to do the same thing to Shield Guardian as well. Make sure. Oh, he continues to persist in his state. Okay, so do what you do.
5, 10. Are these rocks difficult terrain?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I will generally let you know at the start of battle if such a thing is
Oh,
the
right, right,
case.
right. Okay. Um, hmm.
I mean, you can always use your cantrip.
Yeah, I could also use Flame Strike and try to kill Will, but I won't do that.
Wait, why
I'll
would?
just come back with something even more annoying.
You want to die?
Wait, doesn't Flame Strike only hit a 10-foot area?
Yeah, it's a 10-foot radius.
Ah,
So I guess I could just. Let's check the range here. 60 feet, 10-foot radius, 40 feet high cylinder.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I can just target the Umber Hulk, correct?
Yeah, and you just target it in such a way that the affected square will be. Actually, I can just make this 10. You
The
can go like,
10-foot radius, though.
sorry. There we go, 10-foot radius, like that.
Okay. Cool. Right.
I'm gonna move him so I can get rid of the pointer.
What?
God, fucking
God,
Christ.
the rolls on this thing.
You know, the best part is I don't even touch the dice. Like, it's nothing I do.
Wow. I'm blown away.
you, you guys come across Hero Slayer Umbra Hulk,
Apparently.
and it's still alive. The creature roars, oh sorry, chitters in triumph. Toast me
Chitter
all
all
you
you want.
want. Toast me all you want. I will be victorious.
Melrath, end this.
Melrath, can you break through its armor? Oh,
Yay.
ooh,
No.
you finally did it. Melrath rushes across the battlefield with the pillar of flame dying down. He leaps through the receding flames, stabs the creature in the back, and it finally goes down. Why does it have ZZZ next to it? Was I just never zoomed in far enough to see? I don't know. Anyways, the creature
Oh, that means it's
dies.
unconscious.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Do we get a rest now, or do I need to heal our mage?
oh, you're gonna get a rest.
Okay.
So, in fact, I'm gonna rest you while doing the narration. So
So that was the MVP monster we fought the entire game, I would say.
it could
I
well
wanted.
be.
I wish one of us could have kept it, because that would have been like, we trade
Yeah.
in the army for that Umber Hulk.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, so in the aftermath, there's a really important question. Now, granted, this creature burst from the walls, but generally speaking, your scouts have been pretty good at even alerting you to potential Umber Hulk threats. So why didn't they alert you to this particular one?
There's a mole.
Well, you send out some of the Lord's Alliance spies to go locate the Emerald Enclave scouts. Um,
Ah, shit.
they come back. Is there a particular shit that you're thinking of?
Oh, they're probably dead or something.
Oh. When they come back, they're sweating profusely, like flop sweat, like streaking down their face. They seem to have chills at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, and after a few moments, they're kind of, gripping their own, biceps, like trying to hold the body warmth in. Um, and the Lord's Alliance spy Yerva comes up and says, "Sires, I found them near a pool of water, and they really don't seem good. We had to help them the entire way back, and it's worse than." And then the spy is cut off as one of the Emerald Enclave members suddenly goes,
God damn it.
"It's cackle fever, sire. If only we had a paladin present who could cure them of disease."
Oh, come on.
No, he'll do his duty and cure them of disease, but
Oh, God. That would be awful, though, if Tazrath comes back. Like, how dare you leave? What did I miss? Everything. We died because you weren't here.
the the um the spies while he's going through and curing the spies actually recall a tale where as they're coming back before they knew what was going on with them, there were displacer beasts nearby, and at that moment the cackle fever set in, and the 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 scouts ended up, bursting out into laughter,
Hmm.
and it very nearly drew the displacer beast close to them, but the Emerald spies used and then they suddenly get real cagey with the details, and everything was fine.
So was this cackle fever, like, is that just something that happens in the Underdark?
Give me just a second. Actually, um, everybody roll for me a
Medicine?
yes, medicine check. Thank you. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Is it reference?
Oh, glad I helped.
No. Uh, why on earth would that not be a thing?
Oh, thank Christ.
Hang tight for just a second. Oh, I put the page in. 257. Wilderness hazards. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. 257. 23, 43, 51, 58. Finally. Looking at the rolls. Wow. It would have only been natural for the fixer-upper to have the highest score, but Snake pops in with his know-it-all attitude. Um, Cackle fever is a disease that targets humanoids, although gnomes, for some unknown reason, are strangely immune.
Hmm.
While in the grips of this disease, victims frequently succumb to fits of mad laughter, giving the disease its common name and its morbid nickname, the shrieks. The symptoms manifest after 1d4 hours of infection and include fever and disorientation. The infected creature also gains a level of exhaustion that can't be removed until the disease is cured. Um, Any event that causes the infected creature great stress, including entering combat, taking damage, experiencing fear, having a nightmare, forces the creature to make a Constitution saving throw, and on a failed save, it can take psychic damage and becomes incapacitated with mad laughter for a minute. Um, then they have to repeat saving throws. Any creature that starts its turn within 10 feet of an infected creature in the throes of mad laughter um, has to make a Constitution saving throw or can also become infected with the disease. Once a creature succeeds on this save, it is immune to the mad laughter of that particular infected creature for 24 hours. After each long rest, they get to make a saving throw. If they and then the DC drops every time by a certain amount. Blah blah blah. Anyways, in answer to your direct answer to the question that you actually asked, cackle fever is common in infected water. So, sure enough, once all of the Emerald Scouts are cured, um, one of the scouts had located a water source with water flowing down the rock, and had called the other scouts over to fill up their canteens. Um, Normally, when you're trying to avoid diseased water, you're trying to avoid still water, and this water was flowing out of a wall, so they thought that it was safe. And also, they're supposed to be on scout duty, so they skimped a little bit on sort of checking their water source, and succumbed to cackle fever. Um, at this point, the
We're going to pour out
canteens.
their canteens far, far away.
Oh no, their canteens have to be destroyed, because you can't heat up the canteens, and disease theory is not a known thing in this world. So the only thing that you can do is get rid of them entirely, which means that other people in the party are now sharing canteens so that the scouts can have additional ones. So, um, while all this is going on, um, Bob, make a perception check
Why?
because I told you to.
Hmm.
Fixer upper, make a perception check. There we go. Bob is listening intently to this entire thing being recounted, and then the fixer-upper notices something out of the corner of his eye. Do you remember that drow, the map maker that you brought with you?
Hmm.
Zilchin has just pilfered Bob's wand of the Pact Keeper from off his person.
No, he hasn't.
Fixer-upper, what will you do?
Hmm.
I need my rod, guys.
Where are we in location?
You guys are
To
standing around the scouts that had until recently been infected. You were having that conversation with them about it. And so there's a number of people just sort of standing about in the area. Zilchin happened to be standing kind of close to Bob. Nobody really thought anything of it until you saw him pilfer the rod. Bob has not noticed.
Bob, what languages do you speak? Oh, that's right. Can't you read like everything?
I can read everything, but I
Yeah.
can only speak a little bit. Shit, I always forget where it is.
It is under abilities at the bottom.
Common, deep speech, infernal, and undercommon.
Shit. Well, that won't work. All right, I will. And what's his name? Zilchin?
Zilchin. Hmm.
Zilchin is not aware that I just noticed, so.
It does not seem to be, no.
All right.
Zilchin takes the object and places it inside his breast pocket on the left.
Okay, I am going to inconspicuously, um, as far as I can, try to um, mention something to Bob. I have to think about something.
Sure.
Uh, what would we have in common?
Soul suck.
Mage Hand.
Bob, why are you so evil? Um, like, it's funny because these two characters would never interact. Um,
So would it be possible for Fixer Upper to reach out to me since I have some telepathic abilities, or is it only one way?
The telepathic abilities are two-way, but once you establish contact. So you at this
Yeah,
particular moment you don't know anything's wrong. You're concentrating on something else. You have no reason to.
gotcha.
Yeah.
How about thaumaturgy? Do you have that?
No, I don't. I'm trying to
Hmm.
think of what you would have as a special, I don't know, knowledge or skill that would just make total sense to ask you about in the course of doing business down here. I mean, you are evil, so there's that. Um,
I can apparently create written ciphers that others can't decipher.
Well, here his skill checks are in Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, and Persuasion. Maybe some of that will assist you.
hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in the whole rune thing. So, I mean, my character can't do that, so maybe I'll just casually ask you um, to explain to me how that works. If you could come over here and show me how you do that.
Bob, are you going to go along with this?
Um, I guess
Okay.
You could
Bob.
try and hellish rebuke me too.
that's only if you damage me.
Well, let's just keep going.
Bob gets close to the fixer-upper.
You know, this is really interesting. Can you explain to me? And then I'm getting into that. Of course, I'm watching. What's his name?
Zilchin.
Uh, Zilchin. What's Zilchin doing right now?
Zilchin is rummaging through his backpack for a minute for something. He pulls out a moldy piece of fungal bread, and he sort of sniffs at it for a minute, and then he kind of takes a bite out of it, and his face scrunches up, and then it kind of has one of those not bad looks, and then he puts it back in his pack.
All right, so he's clearly not paying attention. It would appear.
Come here, kitty.
Can I just make sure that we're out of earshot? You got to show me something on the wall there about a room. I don't really know how this works.
Oh yeah, no,
Explain.
Bob is confused as hell, but he's going with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so is Kyle.
So he
Yeah.
goes over to the wall.
Yeah. Can you like draw the rune on the wall for me?
So I'm explaining these runes and ciphers to him.
Yeah, but the whole point was just to get you out of earshot. So now I'm explaining
Right.
to you what actually happened and what
Uh-huh.
I actually noticed. So now you know.
Uh-huh.
Right.
While we're still, very studiously studying this rune making process.
Yeah,
Um,
and also I would point out that, Bob can very casually reach down and checks the holster. The wand is not there, or the
mhm,
rod, I should
mhm.
say.
Checked my holster. Got it.
That's a fascinating rune, Bob.
It has these
Um,
kinds of variations.
okay, so now Bob knows. Bob, you know now, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I know. I am
Good,
very
good,
mad.
good. This is perfect.
Oh, I'm not very mad, apparently.
Who are you trying to intimidate? Me?
Sure.
Bob suddenly coughs. Some spittle went down the wrong passageway when you took that inhalation. Yeah, it did not work out the way you had planned, which is impressive considering you're +9.
So,
You cough intimidatingly.
yes. I'm
Hop, hop,
I'm
hop, 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 hop.
I'm kind of lost. Can I like go confront him or
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. You can do anything you want. You just have to tell me what your plan is.
who is
It's
this Zilchin guy again?
Zilchin was from the city of Mantle Dareth. He was a drow that was outside of the drow enclave that you encountered. Um, I'm pulling up the. Where is the drow enclave in this? Hold on. Drow. Here we go. Zilchin, Zilchin, Zilchin. Here we go. He is a wizard. Um, he was trained in Menzoberranzan. He mentioned that he was forced to flee the Drow city after a rash of spell component thefts that ruined his good name. Um, he lost his spell book during the escape, and he had an unfortunate encounter with a black pudding that left him with acid scars covering the left side of his body, including his face. Um, He has been making his living as a cartographer in the meantime, selling maps of the Underdark on sheets of Trillimac, which is a fungus, and he has material components for a whole bunch of prepared spells, which he's using sparingly because he doesn't have a spell book. Um, and he actually happens to have on him, because you guys were discussing this earlier, maps to get to Menzoberranzan, Gracklstugh, and a place called the Worm Writhings, which have some significance. Da, 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 da. And he's mostly coming with the party because if you guys actually manage to find Graven Hollow, he wants to be able to sell maps, and so he was going to pay you for the information when you guys arrived at Graven Hollow prior to making any money off the maps.
Okay. So I could theoretically, I could walk up to him
Hmm.
and
Oh, I okay.
persuade him. Nope, not gonna do that. Or
No,
I could deceive him.
now,
Damn it.
Bob, I just want you to know that this is karma right here. You have to choose an action, then roll the die, and then live with the outcome.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I'm throwing everything at it.
make sure that where is what's his name? Snake right now.
Snake is in the vicinity. He's not too terribly far from you, about 12 feet to your left.
Okay, so he's in counterspell range. That's good.
Uh-huh.
That's all I wanted to know.
Do we
Okay.
want this guy in our party?
Well, he just stole from you.
He stole a very important object, I would add. It's not like,
Isn't it
oh,
worth
he
a
made off with.
lot?
Yeah, it is. It is probably the most valuable thing that Bob owns.
So you should be rightfully pissed.
Okay, so can I go confront him?
Yes, absolutely. Tell me what you're
You
going
don't
to
have to
say and
ask
do.
permission. Do it.
So can I go yell at him?
Don't
Yes.
ask permission. Do it.
What
All
is
right.
the gist of
So,
your yelling?
so I'm gonna walk up to him and say, "All right, look, Fixer Upper saw you steal my rod, and if you give it back now, then you can stay with the party. But if not, I'm gonna beat you up."
And take your lunch money.
But like in a mean way.
Okay.
Well, that I I'm so hurt. I am so hurt. I cannot believe that the fixer-upper would hurl such accusations at me given my past and how traumatic that was. I have no idea what he's talking about. I have nothing to do with whatever the issue is.
All right, then turn out your pack. Prove it.
Well, that's my private property. I don't see why I should be forced to turn out my pack just because you say so.
You know I can read your mind, right?
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what is the extent to which you can actually read his mind?
I
Are
can either
you?
He's reading
telepathically
his mind
communicate
via a
with him,
bluff right now.
or I
Yeah.
can, but I can also cast detect thoughts. So
Well, if you cast detect thoughts, he'll know you're
Mm,
casting a spell. So, at this
true.
point, unless you
Can
intend
I?
to cast it, that would be a deception check, which you
Oh,
will have to live with the consequences of rolling.
okay. So this is the last time I'm gonna cast or roll this. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Good luck. Oh
Yeah, I
dear.
think so.
Oh, okay. So let me roll his opposed check. He starts to sweat a little bit. Uh, well, there's still nothing to know because um, uh, okay, here. He pulls it out of his pack suddenly, thrusts it into your hands, and starts puts on his pack and starts to walk off in another direction away from you.
Wow. He must have not rolled very well.
Probably. um, do we want to keep in the party though?
Oh, hold on a second. I can speed this up dramatically. I'll use my magical tool. X for go, check for stay. The drama.
Why did you vote no?
The drama of the democratic process.
I mean, he stole my thing.
Oh, it was you. Okay.
Yeah,
don't want
we
him in
have
the
no idea
party.
who votes what.
Well,
I
I,
was just
yeah.
I
curious
have a
for a
feeling we're
defense.
waiting on Eric and Will for this.
I know
No, no,
Will voted immediately.
no.
Oh,
I was gonna vote yes, and then I saw the X, and then see, I think
okay.
he's been embarrassed, and it. I'll tell you what, Bob. Just make sure you're right next to Mr. Perceptive, and then if he tries to steal it again, I'll see it.
Okay, so then here's an important question. Will you tell the rest of the warband?
Meaning, the player
Well,
characters or everyone.
meaning the NPCs. Will you tell all the people that you're traveling with what
Hmm.
occurred? Um, and if you do you have any instructions for them?
I mean, should we say be careful around him, or can I pass around one of these ciphers that only everyone except him can read?
I mean,
Hmm.
possibly.
I don't know. We could embarrass him and make it known, or we could just kind of forget it because I got my rod back.
Uh, you said he wanted to sell stuff, right?
Well, he's
That's his end
trying to
game.
his end game is to be able to he's trying to sell these maps so that once he sells enough maps, he'll be able to buy a new spell book. And then once he can function as a wizard once more. Without it, he's got spells in reserve. You have no idea what they are, um, but he's to an extent defenseless. Like he still has those spells, but once they're gone, they're gone.
All right. I
What if we tell him if he behaves, we'll buy him a new spell book?
well, I was thinking, something a little bit less friendly than that, but
Hmm.
um, you know, we'll cover the difference on whatever he can't sell up there if he just doesn't do anything like that again. If he does anything like that again, well, we have to threaten him. So,
Okay, but as for my actual question, will you tell the rest of the factions
no, I
present?
don't think so. I,
Okay,
I, I think
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no.
I think they're on a need to know basis. But
okay.
but we should definitely offer a good cop, bad cop towards him. I
Okay,
think.
so the party takes him aside. You guys lay out your situation with him. He doesn't make eye contact. He doesn't really want to talk about this. He doesn't try to leave, though, since you're obviously more powerful than he is and have him surrounded. He gives you a hasty yes and gets away from you as soon as possible.
No,
For
no.
the rest of
Before he leaves, I want to see everything in his pack, though, just to make sure he hasn't stolen anything from anyone else in the
and
party or the
Okay,
warband.
yes.
and I was also going to say the rest of the time that he is in our group, he should be right next to Fixer Upper because of the perception thing.
Okay, hang tight for just a second.
That was a different.
He is resistant to you checking his bag. Are you going to insist upon this?
Yeah.
Okay. You find your dagger of warning, your black sapphire pendant, a potion of fire breath, and an herbalism kit, which you believe belongs to Snake, um, as
Oh
well
wow, that's
as
like not
a
useful at
handful
all.
of caltrops.
He's quite the
Wow.
pilferer.
He stole my magic weapon. Nice.
I've been making secret rolls.
That's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
You dirty secret roller.
So, that's what you find in his backpack. You also happen to find a handful of small other things, things that are not normal, quite as valuable, at least not monetarily. For example, you find the Order of the Gauntlet symbol from one of the knights, which once they earn this, they're part of the group, and it's kind of emotionally significant. It's kind of like uh, getting a military station, become achieving lieutenant, that sort of thing. Um, Lieutenant if you're British. Anyways, so you find a couple other things that seem to belong to other people in the party. You also find a spy document from one of the Lord's Alliance spies. It is written in some incomprehensible cipher.
But I can read it.
It is a cipher, not a language.
Damn it. It says read all writing.
You
Wait,
you
let me
can
look
read
this up.
it. That does not necessarily mean that you can understand what the cipher is.
Oh, you bitch.
I wish he
Um,
hadn't stolen non-PC things, because now it's
So you do realize that if we kick you out of the party now, you have to make your way through the Underdark alone back to some sort of hospitable location, right?
uh, yes,
In other words, you will most likely die.
yes,
So are you going to steal from us again and force us to kick you out of the party?
Yes.
no.
Insight rolls all around, please.
Oh, wait, we did
That was
that?
to the rest. He asked the party to make insight rolls.
Yeah.
Insight.
wow. No insight from me. So,
My rolls have sucked today.
Tristan, Fixer Upper, Melrath, and Bob and Snake are all convinced he's telling the truth. He's very uncomfortable right now, but he does genuinely seem to have been cowed by all of you surrounding him and going through his pack, and even though other people in the party are not 100% sure what's going on, they're aware that he's been singled out, and that you guys are harshly interrogating him about something. And some of the other people are starting to talk, but they do all keep a respectful distance from you.
shoot.
Okay, so what we're going to do to keep people from shanking you is we're going to say that you found some sort of small thieving creature that was stealing everyone's shit.
A kobold, perhaps.
Hey, um, and you brought it back, but you were worried because of your past that you
Mhm.
would be implicated again, thus why we are all being so mean to you right now. And you will then also never steal from us again, or next time I will not be asking questions, I will just be burning your face off.
He
And Mr. Hugs over here will be giving you a nice long spanking. Points to the shield guardian.
oh,
Minus
and
two, Shield Guardian.
I didn't know they did that.
he's got these broad hands. Um, so he pales a little bit and goes from obsidian to pitch black. He nods vigorously. And I take it that's what you're going to tell everybody else?
Yeah, we have
Mhm.
to.
Okay.
We have
Also,
to lie to
actually,
them.
question. You used to be a wizard, right? Do you have the mending cantrip?
Uh, uh, um, no, no.
Damn it!
Uh,
Okay.
will firebolt help?
No, no, but thank you.
Of course. So the party goes. They tell they pull aside the leaders of each of the different factions, and tell them, trusting that from that point gossip will disseminate quite quickly amongst the various factions. Um, the After all of this is done, the party sets out, and you guys are leading the way. And one of the Zentarum. Give me just a second. Uh, Personalize. Here we go.
Oh wait, I
Lenora.
should have asked what was in his spell book. Meh.
He doesn't have one.
Oh right, only has it memorized. Damn, poor guy.
Yes, and
Mhm.
he's going to have to actually purchase stuff to fill it back up again. So just having the spell book still doesn't solve all his problems. That's why he needs to make all this money off of map making.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Right.
Anyways, Lenora um, comes up to the front of the party. She breaks ranks to do so. The other, both the Lord's Alliance and the Order of the Gauntlet are watching her quite carefully, and their hands are in the vicinity of their weapons, but not actually on the hilt. Lenora comes up to the front, and she is staring straight ahead, and she starts talking in the direction of Tristan. My lord, I think that story he told you about the animal was false. Several of the others in Tarum, I don't know who, happened to have seen him rifling through people's packs in the night. Um, I think that it would probably be best if you just quietly leave the guardianship of him to me, and I can make sure that this problem goes away.
No, I think we have it covered. We appreciate you letting us know that, though.
Insight check.
Actually, you know what? I'm just going to use my portent, my natural 20 portent that I've been holding on to for a while.
Okay. Um, I'll actually teach you a little bit of real psychology. In the event that you are talking to someone and they give you a uneven expression, such as a smile with only one corner of their mouth, that is a sign
Hmm.
of contempt. It is very bad. And you see that sign of contempt across Lenora's face. She tries to give you a grin. It starts out lopsided, and then she obviously goes out of her way to correct into a curt smile, and then falls back.
Oh
Um,
no, no, he's going to stop her as soon as he sees that and be like, are you displeased?"
I would not question your wisdom, my lord.
But that's not what I asked.
Seething.
I don't think that he should be allowed to continue to stay with us.
And why is that?
He's not even a good thief.
No, he's not. But he did manage to. What did we do with those documents?
Oh, the spy document?
Yeah.
You kept it on you because you couldn't necessarily find a good way to give it back to the spy.
Is it possible to have made a copy of it, or is this too
Oh,
too
yeah.
soon afterwards?
It's a little too soon afterwards.
Okay. Um. Eh. He's just going to hold up the document towards her.
Uh-huh.
But he did get his hands on this, which is useful.
Well, I suppose anyone can steal from a sleeping man, my lord.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that he has his uses, and killing him would be a waste of those uses. If you were coming up with an option of guardian stewardship that did not involve him dying, that'd be different.
No one said a word about him dying, my lord.
You said you didn't want him in the party anymore.
I did not also say that I would put the blade to his throat myself.
Yourself.
I
What would you like to do in this case directly?
Well, since you've already rifled through his bags in front of the entire brigade, I would simply suggest that he be told he is no longer welcome and we depart. Anyone have a thought on that?
He's just going to say, "I'll need to talk to the rest of my party, but you have a good point."
Okay. If you allow her to, she will fall back now.
Okay. Then he's going to talk with the others, saying, "So it looks like to keep in the good graces of the Zentarum, we have to get rid of him. I don't particularly care about the good graces of the Zentarum. What are your thoughts?"
Well,
Uh,
the insight check is concerning. I mean, she showed contempt for you, correct? So.
Yes.
a contempt for the decision specifically was the
Oh,
bonus he
okay.
got.
All right. That's different.
Yeah.
That's why he was backtracking. As soon as he figured out the contempt, he realized that that would probably negatively affect their relationship, which is kind of unfortunately important no matter how much he hates the Zentarum.
Yeah, a big difference between them and the decision. I agree.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sympathetic to what's his name's plight, but
Yeah, I think everyone will survive better if we stay together as opposed to
right,
totally
right.
singling out everyone.
Okay.
So
Um,
what's um uh, the consequences of getting on the bad side of these Zentarum?
Well,
they
we're
are
traveling.
sorry, they are the people that gave or were supposed to help you get access to Graven Hollow, which supposedly they've done, but you
Mhm.
are in possession of the ring, so at this point it would simply reduce the size of your party. It could potentially have implications later if you needed Zentarum resources to access a particular place.
Hmm.
Also, they are the most numerous of all the factions. They have a full 8 people in your party. And you should think of them as something akin to mobsters.
Oh.
These are thugs. However, they are thugs working for you.
So they say.
So what?
So they say.
Shoot.
Well, actually, they followed every single order you've given. Like, as far as you know, there has been no one disobeying orders, no one roughing anybody else up. You know. However,
Yeah.
this particular behavior is exactly like what you had heard about the Centaurum is
Mhm.
exactly the sort of thing that she was suggesting. Although you think she might have been implying that she would rough him up.
I'm kind of
I
leaning
mean,
towards kicking him out of the party now, but you guys might have more experience in this kind of
What's
diplomatic
the
role
character's
playing.
name again?
Zildjian.
What's Zilchin? We can
Zilchin the
ask, like,
filter.
I guess the question is, what benefit does Zilchin provide to us at this point?
Well, he's going to pay you at some point. In the event that it absolutely is necessary for the survival of everyone involved, he may have a wide variety of spells at his disposal. He also has all of the Drow innate spells, Fairy Fire, Darkness, and Levitate. Um, and he also happens to carry maps on him that would allow you to locate Menzo Berenson, um, Gracklestug, and the worm writhings, all from the location of Mantle Dareth. And those maps mean that you would be able to go there by the shortest route possible, that you wouldn't get lost. Like, part of what takes you guys so long is that you can sometimes get lost on your way, and you have to go in the general direction of, and then narrow it down when you get close. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
While you guys are deciding this, there is a fight that breaks out behind you. The entire caravan comes to a halt.
Ah, Christ.
Zilchin is involved.
God damn it. Rush in there.
So you guys make it all the way back there. One of the Lord's Alliance's great swords is sort of missing. And by missing, I mean in Zilchin's hands. He's literally been caught red-handed stealing a great sword off of someone, and it scraped across the cave floor in the process of the theft, which is how everyone became alerted to it.
So as we were talking about whether
Nope,
or not
nope,
he should
nope, nope, no.
stay, he steals
Um,
something else.
In the most obvious way possible.
Is it okay to kill him now?
I
I'm
I'm
just gonna
mean,
serious.
ask.
Seriously.
no,
No,
Like
just I'm
what?
gonna ask him.
at this point, like you guys are not hold on a second. Is anyone in here actually good?
No,
No.
I would never be a good character. I think I'm neutral.
I'm neutral.
Yeah, neutral doesn't count. Is anyone here actually good? Like neutral
I'm
good?
checking.
I'm checking as
Mm,
well.
I'm
um,
cranky,
I
but
don't actually think I have an alignment.
Oh, you should probably select one.
Where is that?
So you go to notes, and is like the third row.
Oh wait, I'm chaotic neutral. Nope, I'm good.
Without a good person in the party to complain, as neutral or evil characters, yes, you could absolutely choose to kill Zilchin.
Okay.
I'm just gonna raise one hand and just ask like one question.
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Why?
Uh,
Defend yourself.
he looks scared, but in that moment, suddenly his fear leaves his face,
Hmm.
and he looks blank,
Ah.
and he's thinking, and then he looks up at you and says, "I have no idea."
Is he going mad?
Insight.
Oh, who's going to roll insight?
Everyone should be rolling insight.
Ugh, these rolls have been terrible.
Damn it.
All right, so the party rolls insight. Fixer Upper, Tristan, Melrath, Snake, none of you are entirely certain, but something about it strikes Bob that the way that he went about sort of that thinking and his answer, he feels portrays genuine puzzlement, and he whispers it into the minds of the other party members.
Unfortunate. I just wanted to kill him.
Could you have it once a day? Can someone cast restoration on him just to make sure this isn't some demonic bullshit?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll cast
Uh,
Lesser Restoration with my sword.
Hang tight for just a second.
Yeah, I'll
Master's
see
Guide,
if I
Artist
need to
Manual.
go to
Tap it, tap it,
something
tap
more
it.
powerful. Hmm.
Where did it go? Here it is. Wait, is it? No, this is it. Okay. Here we go. Yes. Okay, I was just double checking to make sure Lesser Restoration does it.
Oh, okay,
Um,
good.
Lesser Restoration is cast upon the creature. Um, Normally, it settles over someone like a veil and then sinks into them. This
Mhm.
time, it settles over them and is brushed aside by an invisible force.
All right. I'll try greater restoration then.
Greater Restoration settles over the creature like a heavy blanket. And this time, it suddenly is sucked inside of the creature, and a reddish blackness is expelled from Zilchin's mouth like a
Hmm.
belch.
And everyone saw this, correct? I hope.
Every person saw this. Yes.
Good.
In fact, there was light accompanying it, and Zilchin suddenly seems woozy. He buckles down to one knee, and then blinks his eyes a few times and stands back up. Uh, I I feel like a weight I didn't know existed was lifted.
Yeah. Okay. Shit, I wish I'd saved that nat 20. Um Tristan's just going to look up at the group that's looking at this and just say, "We are here fighting demons. There are demons that can potentially possess people and cause them to do things that they don't want to do. As much as some of us might want to immediately blame another person for their actions, sometimes outside forces are outside, and we need to practice patience and diligence to make sure that we don't fall prey to infighting that makes us weaker."
Okay,
That's a lot of rolls.
it is. Did you actually see them?
No.
We
Okay,
saw
good.
the dice rolling, but we didn't see the numbers.
I
Can we still
was.
kill him?
Yes, you can always still kill him. Um, the only thing that keeps you from killing him is whether or not you can sleep at night.
Neutral characters don't care about that, thankfully.
Excuse me. They
Yeah.
might not. There's an extent to which they have an aversion to it, but anyways. So Everybody listens carefully to what Tristan has to say. The Zentarum, surprisingly enough, are completely on board. The Order of the Gauntlet also seems swayed by this. The Emerald Enclave and the Lord's Alliance are a little more hesitant with it. But ultimately, everybody accepts your position, and there doesn't seem to be any particular grumblings from anybody else present. There is some fear on people's faces, worry, but no contempt, no defiance.
Well, maybe to put them a little more at ease, Fixer Upper is going to be right next to him the rest of our journey for
Hmm.
perception purposes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And greater dispel magic purposes.
Yes.
or greater restoration.
And
Restoration.
Yeah.
yeah, Tristan is going to point out, obviously, we are powerful enough to expel demons. So please trust us. If someone is acting strangely, come to us and we can potentially deal with it before you have to deal with it yourselves.
There's a moment of tension, and hold on one second. Which is suddenly broken by Leithris, one of the Zentarum thugs, saying, "That's a shame. I would have loved to have tied him to a stalagmite and flogged him." Everybody laughs.
Really? Was that a great joke or what?
I think that's more nervous laughing.
Yeah. I would.
Okay, so we covered that. You guys avoid that. Da, 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 da.
I'm gonna ask Zilchin when this weight came on him. Like, what the hell was that?
Okay, while you guys are traveling, he actually mentions that a while ago, while he was still in Menzoberran's, and prior to that, um, eh, y- you guys are aware of the Fair's Rest, just as a reminder because it's relevant to this. It tends to settle in just various locations of the Underdark, and a lot of the places where it settles, cities are founded because sometimes it's near water or a strategic location that has some advantage. But the Fair's Rest doesn't entirely prevent teleportation, but it makes teleportation risky, and it also prevents scrying, which is very important in the Underdark, as an evil race would otherwise scry out your location, find your weak points, and then assault you. So Menzo Berenson happens to be underneath a particularly large space. In fact, the largest amount of Fair's Rest in the entire known Underdark.
Hmm.
And so there was a point where he was on his way to a meeting for his house, House Calepton. And while he was on his way to the meeting, he saw the Fair's Rest suddenly wobble in the air above the city, and he stopped to look at it, and then it was suddenly sucked towards a single point and then exploded outwards, and his head itself felt very woozy. But he
Fairies rest with that
recovered.
weird fog, right?
Yeah, and he recovered afterwards, and he felt fine. And sometimes he would awake to find things in his backpack that he did not remember putting there.
S-
Hmm.
But he also seems to remember a compulsion sometimes when a particularly shiny object was nearby to hold it in his hands.
So we have multiple days of travel, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
And we have technically one. How many greater restorations do you get a day, Fixer Upper?
Just the one because I have one 5th level spell.
Can we start circulating through the party?
Yeah, so here's the deal. When it comes to madness, I think that you guys, now that you're aware of it, can try to keep an eye out for it. The problem
Hmm.
here is that you can always just cast Greater Restoration on every single person that's present. But unless they are acting oddly or you get reports of them acting oddly, um, it's difficult because you only have so many Greater Restorations. You're not entirely certain what brings this on. You could
Would
restore. Mhm.
would detect magic kind of screens be helpful, or is this
Nope.
just kind of a waste?
It's kind of a waste. And part of the other
Okay.
problem is that when it comes to a medicine check, if someone is acting strangely, you can
Hmm.
do a medical examination around the strange act to try to determine if it is a form of known madness. But without them exhibiting some outward symptom, there's no way to know until it's triggered whether or not someone has taken ill with madness.
Okay. Who are who are the independent party members we have? We have Peebles, we have
Oh, independent party members. You have Peebles, you have Brim. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, not Brim. Yeah, no, it was Brim. Brim was the druid that you guys found on the edge of the lake at Mantle Dareth.
mhm,
And then Peebles and Zilchin.
Zilchin. Is that everyone?
Those are all of the new NPCs.
I would very much appreciate hitting them
Okay. Let me do some checks in here. Boop, doop, doo.
if you're willing to spend those slots, Fixer Upper.
Okay.
Because the rest of them kind of came pre-screened, and the Zentarum I feel like are all sociopaths by nature, so Greater Restoration would kind of deprive them of their purpose.
Mhm.
But those three, I feel like they're the biggest loose ends.
Mhm.
All right. I marked the 3 off.
Okay, give me a moment while I do my checks.
And we try to
Wait.
justify why we're doing this to them as we're doing it. We're not just, because they'll notice we're casting spells.
Yeah, it will be a tad obvious.
Yeah. Just trying to explain it, calm everyone down.
You only need to do actually mark off 2, because you already marked off 1 for Zilteth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there were just 3. So a
Um,
5th and 2-1.
so you take Peebles aside. You explain to him that you're going to do this. It when you cast it upon Peebles, um, the Greater Restoration magic suddenly has a massive effect. There are suddenly a series of eyeballs that pop out of nowhere and sort of blink in rapid succession at you, and then suddenly evaporate away like steam.
Well, that was the next day, though, because
Oh, you can only do this
yeah,
once per day?
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
So Peebles suddenly his eyes snap wide open, and he actually seems noticeably more clear-headed than he had been before. And what was that? What did you do to me?
I don't love the holders anymore. He was the guy
I
with the holder fetish. Yeah.
I we have to go. We have to go right now.
Go where? Why?
Any direction now, as fast as we can.
Well, oh, we need to not be here.
We need to be not here right now.
Okay, we're leaving.
All right.
So the party picks up and does double the pace. Once everybody is moving and the party is going along as fast as they can, Peebles directs everyone to make a left here, right here. You're making all these crazy maneuvers around through various tunnels. The scouts are panicked, trying to keep up with the shift in the party in relation to them. And as he's giving these instructions, he doesn't have time to explain. But after about 15 minutes or so, um, he says, "Okay, okay, okay," and everybody slows. Um, and he's breathing heavily. He does not have a very good constitution. Um, I had been under a compulsion by the beholder Zazax.
Oh.
He was going to sneak up upon the party in our sleep tonight and petrify all of you and make you trophies in his cave.
Huh. Guess we could have made new characters.
Yes. Um,
Well,
Wow.
I had been forced by his eye beam to be a spy in the party, and I was sending messages to him secretively. It
Hmm.
wasn't my fault. Um, yeah,
I'm glad I took Greater Restoration as my 5th level spell. Wow.
yeah, you've actually undone a whole bunch of work I did.
Sorry.
Well
do
done.
we want do we want to take care of this beholder before he starts to be a problem?
Um, well, if we evade Zazax long enough, he'll simply become frustrated and give up. People
But
says.
still be here and potentially want us dead.
Well, actually, he really wants to kill Lorthun. Um, so I think he was hoping to take some members of the party as slaves for his colony.
What's
There's a good
Lorthun?
Lorthun was that beholder that got stabbed by the drow that he later
Uh,
charmed. He was part of the Zentarum.
I really think this beholder issue should be taken care of, but I'm one of 5 voices. What's everyone else think?
I agree.
How do we take care of a beholder, though?
Well, you
It's
would fight
called
him.
killing it.
Oh, aren't they crazy powerful?
Generally, yes.
Can people send him false messages, or the beholder will see through that?
Ooh.
Well, Peebles thinks for a moment. I actually don't know if he knows that I'm no longer under his control. Um,
Hmm.
hang tight for just a second. I'm doing some checks. I have to go to the end of this and make sure
That's
I
a really
have the
good
right
question.
stack block. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay, I have all the information. Let's see here. He can now tell you everything that Zazax is capable of in terms of
Okay.
like the monster stat block. Also, I know that we're going over time, so in the event that you do choose to fight him, that will simply be the end of this
Yeah.
particular session.
Okay.
So quickly, um, beholders. Oh, and actually, I'm sorry, just because I know some people have
He's
not
a
seen.
really powerful beholder, I assume. Right?
Not
Oh,
necessarily.
he's standard. Okay, interesting.
Well, this is the picture for a standard beholder, just in case somebody is not familiar with them. Um, and so this is what they look like. They are
Gorgeous.
hmm, they are known as xenophobic isolationists. They are also sometimes called eye tyrants, and they hold up in alien layers. Um, These creatures have no particular vulnerabilities or immunities beyond the immunity to prone. They hover everywhere they go. They are naturally magical, and so they can just move in any direction through the air. They're not especially fast, but there you go. Beholders are also known to create an area of anti magic, an anti magical field spell, in a 150-foot cone.
Wow.
This is a permanent ongoing ability of beholders. It is caused by
Jeez.
their central eye. At the start of each of its turns, the beholder decides which way the cone will face and whether the cone is active. The area even works against a beholder's own eye rays. In the event that you attempt to cast a spell while inside of the anti magic cone, you will still expend the spell slot and the spell will not go off. Beholders do have a powerful and toothy bite, but probably the obvious and most dangerous aspect of them are their eye rays. They can charm, paralyze, terrorize, slow, draw the life juices out of. Um, they can use telekinesis, cause sleep, petrification, disintegration, or even instantaneous death.
Okay.
Also, their lairs are imbued with some of the same strange alien magic that makes these creatures such a threat, and the lair itself can actually come to the aid of a beholder.
Well, if that's true, and he was going to attack us in our sleep and is still planning to do that, that
He,
means he wouldn't be in his lair, and we would
Mhm.
have the element of surprise on him.
well, at this particular moment, Zazax is not entirely certain where you are because actually, shortly before Greater Restoration was cast, he had finished using a magical device that he has that allows him to do a sending spell to Zazax the Beholder. So he had been reporting on your position, your general direction, and that's why he had you suddenly move quickly and in random directions. So at this moment, Zazax has no way of locating you unless um, this individual communicates with him.
Well, we can wait till Tazarath shows up
Okay.
and then figure out.
Yeah,
'cause
the
we can
animatic
always
field is
trap him.
concerning, but Tazarath is a tank, so
Yep.
that's good.
Yes. However, even things like Melrath's sword simply won't operate, and it has no blade. Um, Smite won't go off. Like
Hmm.
any
Wow.
magical effect or special ability of your characters, unless it is like based on your inherent physical capabilities, like Melrath as a fighter, um, it just doesn't work. Like
Hmm.
your armor becomes normal armor while inside this field, etc., etc., etc.
Would it destroy the Shield Guardian?
That is an excellent question. Give me just a moment. I want to look something up in the
Or an
monster
earth
manual.
elemental that was summoned.
Oh,
An earth elemental would instantaneously be turned to dust. Now, this is a cone, so that
Mhm.
might be a thing to keep in
Strategic thing,
mind.
yeah. Especially if we have surprise. But I'm just going off of how weak the other beholder seemed. So
Right. Um, he was caught off guard.
right, right, exactly. Okay.
So here's the deal. There's two components of weakness to the Shield Guardian. First of all, the Shield Guardian is a construct. In no way can it operate inside of this cone. All of its
okay.
effects and abilities will be gone. The
Hmm.
other dimension of this is, let's just say through some miracle, I managed to separate you from the Shield Guardian, like using telekinesis or something. In the event that you are in the anti-magic cone, you have that magical amulet. If the magical amulet is inside of it, then it will sever its link to the Shield Guardian, who will simply shut down.
Eh.
Now, the anti-magic cone does not dispel magic from things, it simply prevents magic from occurring.
Okay, but if I got out of the cone, would it reestablish the link?
Yes. Now,
Okay, cool.
assuming the Shield Guardian himself is not in the cone at that
Yeah.
time.
I say let's wait till Tazarath comes back, and then I would really like to get if we could just do that greater restoration on the third person.
You will not have time for that because it's one per day.
Drat.
Yeah. But
Well,
this is a
I'm gonna keep
wonderful
them.
place to leave off with the party in imminent peril.
Well, it is now imminent peril that we saw through. Thank Christ.
Oh, there's one other thing that I should mention. When it came to Lorthun, part of the reason that he was not quite as dangerous as perhaps Zazex is supposedly going to be is because he was missing half of his eye stalks in the fight with the
There you
Bay
go.
Hare. They were eaten off. Death, disintegration, paralysis, and one other was removed in that fight. So
Okay.
he had half the abilities of normal beholder and was several challenge levels below the challenge level of a normal beholder. In fact, that is what exactly inspired him to try to work with the Zentarum. He's in a weakened state, and he can sort of treat them like slaves and get an advantage out of it without being at his
Hmm.
full power.
I see.
So there you go. Thank you guys so much for playing.
Thanks